Tony D and Little Joan is on the couch, and this is a screenwriter's rant on Marvel's Midnight Suns. Another game. It's just nothing but game trailers out, so I'm analyzing these. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's what? It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 9. Audiobook available for 1. Book 9 just dropped. And Amazon's Kindle Unlimited is free. So, let's get into it. It's a pretty cool trailer, I'll give you that. This is not actual gameplay, but they play the Masters of Puppets from Metallica while they're playing these cinematics. And the premise is, for those of you who don't remember Midnight Suns, this was when did this come out? I guess in the 2000s or the 90s, I want to say. It was a line of comics where it was like Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, all the supernatural characters had their own line, because this was when Marvel was trying to flood the comic shelves with so much product to drive everybody away. And this sort of came out at the tail end of that. I don't think it did too well, like maybe kind of for a while. So this is a plot that takes place there in that world with all the supernatural stuff. And so basically, a supernatural demon is taking over the strongest members of the Marvel Universe who don't particularly have a resistance to the supernatural. So here she is taking over Venom, right? And then that's a problem, because obviously Venom is superpowered and he's already problematic enough. And then the Marvel heroes, the Avengers, have to fight back, but they're going to fight back in the supernatural way. So they all get like supernatural makeovers so they can fight accordingly. So I assume Doctor Strange or somebody helps remake them. So you can see here, there's Venom. And is that Wolverine that got taken over? Definitely the Hulk. Not sure. Maybe it's Sabretooth. Maybe she turned all the villains because they're bad, and that makes more sense. And here you got the heroes. So you got Ghost Rider, new look for him. Looks like Scarlet Witch. Blade. Not sure who that is. It kind of looks like Cyclops. I don't know if she has supernatural powers. You got Spider-Man in his new digs. Wolverine, of course. And Iron Man, too. So they got these little runes, I guess, protect them from being taken over. So it makes sense, right? And Doctor Strange, Defender skin. So you can get Doctor Strange if you pre-order now. That's a big deal, I guess. And so I guess they give Spider-Man like a supernatural costume to protect him from magic. Looks pretty cool. I mean, the look is cool. I mean, I like it. It's a good plot for superheroes, because you can then redesign. See, here's Spider-Man in his normal costume. So then you can sort of redesign the characters and basically get more mileage out of them for doing basically the same thing, except this time they fight supernatural stuff, right? So instead of fighting regular old run-of-the-mill supervillains, now they're fighting supervillains with magical powers, and they can sort of break the rules of physics. But it reminds me of a great run, if you ever get a chance to find it. There's a great run in the X-Men way back in the day. Chris Claremont wrote it, and basically was a wizard. I want to say his name was like Kubla Khan or something like that. Anyhow, he takes over New York City and turns it into a medieval fortress, and then all the characters of the Marvel Universe have their medieval versions, except for Spider-Man. For some reason, he wants to kill Spider-Man, and he can't, and so it's like the whole medieval city against Spider-Man. It's really great. It's really a great little run there, and it's Claremont at his peak, and it wasn't like a story about. It was just the first time they really did stuff like that, where they took the characters and just completely redesigned them, and it was a lot of fun. It was like medieval Captain America, medieval event, more not so much Avengers, but X-Men and New Mutants when they were hot. Man, what a great story! I had so much fun reading that. That was back in the day when comics were fun. Now that being said, does this look that much fun? A little bit. I mean, it's got some of that in there. October 7th, 2022. Um, so I could see it being fun, as long as they keep it to what it is, superheroes fighting bad guys. That's what we want to see. That's, you got to keep that sort of binary going for a video game anyway, right? Maybe the video game companies can keep the politics out of this stuff. I think they can. And Midnight Suns, look, it's yet another brand or imprint or logo or trademark that Disney now owns, and they're, I assume, licensing it or whatever to this company that then puts it out, and they all make millions of dollars. So I don't know about the gameplay or any of that, but the concept looks strong enough. In a comic book, this would be a typical thing. The demon would show up, and she'd get one supervillain, and that would lead her to another and another and another, and then she'd accumulate a little army, and slowly the heroes would start to figure it out, and then maybe one of them would get turned, and then they'd realize, oh no, we have to protect ourselves with magic runes, which I assume are these new uniforms with like magic runes on them somewhere. Gives you an excuse to redesign everybody, and then they get up to speed, and then they all band together. They free the Hulk, and they free these guys, and then that's part of the game, right? Like the boss fight will be like fighting the Hulk. That'll be like one of the main boss fights, and then you free the Hulk, and he joins your side, or maybe he's knocked unconscious, and you got to fight the final demon by yourself, and it's a big giant fight, and not like the comics where everybody sits around and talks like a hipster and drinks coffee and complains about everything. Yeah, why don't you put out that game, Marvel? Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. Today we got a Hollywoke hot take and a news blast. I am running on empty, so that's going to be it for me. Thanks for coming out to the show today, and we'll see you with new videos